Right, welcome to the third video, second review of the evening. Up this time is Otherwar. Otherwar is a surprising mashup of tower defense and bullet hell games. Marketers, surprising is a word I use, not you. How can you be surprised about the thing that your developers created? Like, anyway, build and manage fortifications to defend the gate of heaven against the hordes of hell, while soaring over the battlefields as the defender angel and meet the monsters in direct combat. Right, so this game was given to the Galax for review, so over to him with the details.
Yeah, so the bullet hell, I feel like, I want to say they're trying to do some Survivor stuff in here, but maybe I'm just colored by how popular that genre is currently, because in that genre I feel like there's less stuff shooting at you and more stuff just body rushing you. But yeah, excuse me, as with a general tower defense game, you have a path that the enemies will follow to get to your gate. The gate has a number of hits that it can take before you lose, and you have one or a couple of spots. Well, you usually have a lot of spots where you can build towers, which you choose, and you unlock more towers as you play the game. There's also, your character controls like a twin stick shooter. You move around, you shoot with your you move around with the left stick, shoot with the right stick, or you move around with the mouse and shoot with the move with WASD and shoot with the mouse, I think. You do also unlock other abilities that are active abilities with countdowns, such as the ability to erase all shots around you for a little bit. And then you start the wave, and then the enemies keep coming until the wave is over. And you try to keep any of them from getting to the end. Some of the quirks in this one, in between waves, you often, but not always, get like Petty Finches did, get a choice of a couple of buffs on level up. They are randomized. Some of them are more useful than others. How much you need movement speed varies. How much you need your range varies. Attack power and attack speed are always good. I don't recall this being a thing in most tower defense games I've played. That the towers, in addition to having costs and costs to upgrade, they also have a limited number of each type of tower that you bring that you can build. So, like, even though on the first stage you have over 20 things, you can only build 10 shooting turrets. And if you want to do more than that, you have to do a different kind of turret or upgrade the ones you have. Upgrades cost a little bit more than the base cost of the thing you're upgrading generally, I think. Or, yeah, I think so. Although, maybe not for the non-combat ones. The treasury upgrade costed less than the base treasury. The enemies are all ghost and demon-y type things. I played through a few levels and they didn't change much, but I know there are some other ones, and every third level or so is red and marked with a boss, but frankly I have not managed to beat one of those yet, because I just unlocked the ability to do it. Let's see, the first few towers you get are the basic shooty thing, one that shoots down enemy attacks towards you, because two of the fairly common enemy types shoot these weird bat-like projectiles. Some of that, one kind shoots them in a straight line. Another kind shoots them in a kind of swooping formation that is significantly harder to dodge. So that kind of turret seems like it can be helpful, but really you want something that's going to help you kill the enemies mostly. You have the usual slow down turret that slows down enemies and makes them, like, the ideal synergy there is obviously to make them get hit more times by the shooty towers while they're slow. Then another shooty tower and the treasury, which doesn't do anything and is more expensive than most of the other early tower types, but makes you gain money at a regular rate, which is good because otherwise you mostly gain like 1 gold for every enemy you beat, a small chance for a coin to drop when you beat an enemy that gives you a few gold, and friggin' you get some money at the end of each wave. So you don't get a lot of money very quickly if you don't use the treasury, which you unlock on the second thing. Also, each stage has missions, which are accessible usually by the L button or left bumper or something. I don't know what it is on keyboard because I play on the controller. Some of these are stupid. Some of them are reasonable. I don't think you're expected to do most of them your first time playing a stage. But if you do them, you get a bunch of extra experience that goes towards unlocking things on the skill tree. And frankly, some things on the skill tree are very expensive, and you probably won't be able to unlock them until you're able to start clearing out some of those. You also get star ranked on each level, but the stars each stand for a specific achievement on the level. One is never having your character's life run out, because your character starts out with a number of hits that you can't die because you're an angel, but when you get hit enough times, you get stunned for a few seconds, and your gate loses 1 pip. So one of the goals is not doing that. Another one is not letting any enemies reach the gate, and I forget what the third one is, but I think I got it both times. So you're probably more likely to get that just through play. I know it's not the one of the weird goals is, okay, so a new wave, you can push the button to start the next wave even before the previous wave finishes. Like, once the last set of guys in the previous wave starts appearing, you get like I think a 30-second countdown to the next wave. And if one of the things that you can get extra experience for sometimes is starting the next wave before the timer counts down, which is, I think, weird. So, but it doesn't count down when you're in build mode, so I think you're safe that way. Yeah, so oh, one of the first like 2 times I played the second level, I died to, I think, the same guy, because I didn't realize this because there was a lot of stuff going on. But starting with the second level, sometimes there are like enemies that will summon more enemies that are just kind of trailing after, but will get mixed up in the bunch of other enemies. Those guys are a bad sign, because a full health enemy suddenly being spawned kind of near the back gate is very bad. Like I said, there are boss fights, but I didn't get to one, so I can't review that. The music is very, like, haunting, like, not like literally groaning, but kind of atmospheric groan-ish music. And the sound effects are pretty ordinary smacks, splitches, and coin jingles. Do you guys have any questions? Because I feel like I'm...
Not really.
Okay. I had a little bit of a hard time enjoying this because it feels a little bit slow, and like if you can like sell back your towers and build them in other places, but I don't always feel like I learned that I've made a mistake in time to fix it. If that makes sense, like I don't realize, oh crap, I needed better coverage at such and such a point in a level until literally if I sold all my things back and rebuilt them, I wouldn't have time to get them where they need to be. They're like enemies would get through and I would probably lose. And both the getting hit and the like, and I know I could take movement speed up power-ups to make you move a little bit faster, but the controls still don't feel super fluid, and I don't want to sacrifice my ability to actually kill things, because even on the first stage you generally don't get enough resources to like in some tower defense games you can leave everything up to the towers unless you have an emergency or there's a special enemy. That is, I don't feel like that's the case in this game until you're returning to an earlier level with powerful towers. But I think overall it was fairly well constructed for what it is. If anything, they might give you like a little more room than you strictly need to move around, but dodging those swoopy projectiles does require you to move around interestingly, and like I said, the tower that deletes projectiles and the power-up that clears away all enemy projectiles in an area around you are both actually quite useful.
I am noticing your hitbox is huge.
There is definitely something of a bullet hellish nature when there's a wave of the red guys that shoot the swoopy things on screen, and I presume there will be more enemies with projectiles as you progress through the game, because they're kind of doubling the threat here of both the enemies marching and also they're shooting at your avatar, both of which are ways that you can make your way towards losing. How much are they charging for this?
Let's see. They are charging $6.
Yeah, I think this is a perfectly good game for $6. Obviously, if you're not into tower defense, not apply probably, but like I don't think this is going to win any bullet hell fans over onto tower defense, and probably won't win any tower defense game fans in on bullet hell, but I think for $6 it's pretty decent for what it is.
Also worth noting, there's a bunch of DLC here, but it's all art book, unused art assets, that kind of thing. It's listed as all support the dead DLC, so
okay.
it can all be ignored.
So they're selling the game for cheaper than they might wish.
Possibly. I mean, the DLC isn't expensive here either. Like $2, $3, $2.50. Like, but not like I guess to lay a card down for next week. I have a rant about a game that I'm reviewing next week about this kind of thing, but we'll get to that when we get to that. The temerity with that game to do some of the DLC things that it's doing. Ooh. But anyway, anything else on Otherwar here, Galax?
I believe I am good.
Alright then, so that'll about do it for this game. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review Sumier.